everyone, I'm Kajal Mehra and today we are at Semicon India 2025, Day 2. And with us is Mr. Gopa Kumar. He is the Vice President, Strategy and Solution Semiconductors at Quest Global. Hi, I
Hi.
welcome you here at this event, the Semicon India.
Hi.
And I wanted you to introduce yourself and a little bit more about the Quest Global.
I'm Gopa Kumar. I'm part of Quest Global, which is a company focusing exclusively on engineering services. So I'm currently part of the semiconductor vertical. Okay, and I focus on the strategy and solutions, which will help us for growth in this segment. Okay.
So moving ahead to the Q&A sessions, and my first question for you is that India is increasingly being seen as a critical pillar of global semiconductor development. From your perspective, what key factors are driving this shift, and where do you see India's strongest contribution in the global value chain?
If you see semiconductor as an industry, it is one of the most happening industry,
Yes.
not only for India, across the globe.
Global.
So whatever we talk about the digital transformation, whether it is automotive, whether it is aerospace, whether it is medical, everything is possible only through semiconductors. So from that perspective, all across the globe, there is increased focus on design of new chips, manufacturing of new chips, and that is actually added by the current geopolitical situations where the manufacturing is now more focused towards Asia Pacific, especially Taiwan and all.
Yes.
And we wanted to actually really diversify. Okay, so India is at the right juncture at this point of time
Exactly.
to get a major chunk of that. Okay, so from that perspective, according to me, the Make in India, it has actually started long back from a design perspective.
Okay.
Okay, all the captive centers of the global customers have actually started design from India few years back itself.
Yes.
Now what you see is the real physical Make in India, where
Yes.
the manufactured things getting tested or things like that. That is a new focus that is coming up in India. Okay. So initially, I'm expecting the OSAT players now trying to play a major role there, and Tata is trying to set up a new fab, and we expect more and more fabs also will come to India.
So my next question for you is that Quest Global positions itself as a silicon to system to cloud partner. Can you explain what this approach entails and how it enables you to support both chip makers and equipment OEMs?
Okay, it's an interesting positioning that we are trying to create for ourselves. As you know, everything starts with silicon.
Yes.
Okay, there are global silicon players, making their own designs. So we help them to make their chips. That is the first positioning. But just having chips alone is not sufficient. You want to create solutions around that so that it can be put for the actual use. Let it be automotive, let it be medical, let it be consumer electronics. So that's where we come in with our embedded and software capabilities and we create systems. That's the second side of it. And third part is all the devices, what you see now, are all smart and connected. So it needs to be connected to cloud and it needs to process the data, bring out business intelligence, etc. All those scenarios. So we actually place ourselves as an end-to-end player, helping chip makers to design their chips, helping chip makers or the OEMs to have their solutions based on these chips, and connecting all those things and creating operating data and creating business value out of that. So that is why we are positioning ourselves as a silicon to systems to cloud player.
All right.
It's a common strategy that we take across the verticals that we focus.
Correct. So one of the biggest challenge in India's semiconductor journey is building a skilled workforce. What strategies do you believe can accelerate talent development, and how is Quest Global contributing in this space?
This area is very niche. Okay, so there are only very limited silicon engineers in India.
Yes.
It's a fact, and that's a scenario all across the globe. Vietnam, Japan, everybody has the same problem.
Yes.
But having said that, we have more population available, more engineers coming out of college. What we can do is, prepare them well in advance when they are in the college itself, so that they are actually ready to get deployed in such kind of projects.
Okay.
So probably an industry, academia, cooperation, and modifying the curriculum accordingly, so that rather than just making generalized engineers, They can be more tuned for supporting the semiconductor requirements. That could be one possibility. And second attempt, what we do is internally, after taking the freshers from colleges, we have something called a Silicon Academy internally.
Okay.
So we train them, 3 to 6 months, 9 months, etc. On actual on-the-job kind of training, so that once they are cleared to work on actual customer projects, then they will be deployed. And we also have partnerships with some of the training institutes outside, so that we can
Outside as
in India itself, there are some companies who are actually doing the same thing, taking freshers from colleges. They do some screening and then training them on silicon engineering and making them ready for such projects. So I see a lot of momentum that is happening within India right now, like that.
Okay, that's really great to hear, by the way. So, how are AI, automation, and digital transformation influencing semiconductor engineering today? And what new opportunities do they create for companies like Quest Global?
Yeah, as you know, AI is actually affecting all the areas.
Exactly.
Okay, some areas, currently you are talking about some of the negative impacts also,
Yes.
maybe losing jobs, etc.
Yes.
But again, ultimately, I believe this will only create more opportunities.
Okay.
What you are seeing now is the traditional way of doing things. Some of it can be actually replaced by AI-based solution. That's what you are seeing. But ultimately, it can create more solutions, more opportunities for us. That's why I'm seeing it. Now, coming specifically to semiconductor. Now, the semiconductor chip design is a very intensive, long process.
Yes.
There are different stages for that design part of it. There are certain stages where AI can do a much better job and more efficient job than human, with less probability of errors.
Like what?
Okay, for example, verification of something what you have done, right? Verification is based on certain criteria. So if you know all the precondition, all the set rules, AI can do a better job. Another area is you have made the design, you have to lay out the circuit for the actual physical implementation. That is also based on certain criteria.
Yes.
So AI can do that. Only finally somebody has to sign off. So a lot of labor-intensive manual work can be automated using AI. So that has already started happening. But again, I believe more and more chips are needed. There are a lot of areas where human, innovation is needed. So it will create more opportunities ultimately. But certain things can be actually handed over to AI.
Okay.
It's infrastructure, in order to actually really establish that, including quality of water, quality of electricity, quality of air, many other aspects. So setting up lab that's such a major challenge. Okay. So that's why probably we are starting with creating the ecosystem of testing, validation, things like that. So there also, I think we have to make a lot of investments in terms of equipments. You have to train people, all those aspects. That is what is currently happening now. Okay. So I think that's a good area to start with, and subsequently we can move into the other areas within that, so that we can touch all aspects of Make in India. Okay, that is one thing. And coming to design, as we discussed, the getting the right skilled engineers is the major challenge.
Yes.
Okay. And when you start manufacturing, okay, then you have to actually ensure that the systems are up and running 24/7. So a lot of field services, a lot of post-silicon testing, validation, all those aspects will come into picture. So getting more engineers, right infrastructure, and getting them trained on what is needed, those are all the kind of challenges what our companies are going to face.
Okay. For students and young professionals aspiring to enter the semiconductor space, what skills, mindset, or experience should they focus on today to stay future ready?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because we have standard curriculums in India.
Yes.
So at least some colleges we have seen that they are thinking about what are their needs of industry and optimizing their curriculum accordingly, so that making them closer to the need of industry rather than just having a generalized training. That is what is needed.
Yes.
So I think many of the universities are actually now moving towards that. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe the young engineers, okay, if they can identify where they really want to be in, accordingly they can choose the areas. Okay.
Definitely.
Now everybody is running behind AI. Obviously, it's a good choice. But within AI also, there are a lot of areas what you can focus, right?
Yes, exactly.
There are there are mathematics oriented things, there are programming oriented things. So first you identify where exactly is your interest or where you want to be in terms of capability, in terms of industry, okay, then you can actually align yourself with that. So a lot of trainings, a lot of solutions are available to make you ready for that. So making closer to the industry is the first requirement.
Exactly. And that should be.
Yeah.
So this was my last question, and thank you so much for your time again. And
Yeah, thank you so
much for your
Nice talking
insights
to you.
and same here
Yeah.
and those answers. And thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you.